Hey, Greg here from Matrix Motion Fitness Studios, and we're wanting to take you through a series of shoulder care exercises to keep shoulders loose, strong, mobile, and just kind of functioning at their optimal performance. So we're going to start off laying down on the floor. So all these exercises are going to be done on the floor. Our first exercise, I'm going to get Griffin here to bring both his hands down by his side. And number one is you're going to push your arms into the floor, into the table, and try to squeeze your shoulder blades back together in behind you. So as you push down, you're going to create a little bit of an arch in through the back. That chest is going to lift a little bit higher, and then you're just going to push down and squeeze and hold in between the shoulder blades as best as you can for about a 10-second count. Then we're going to bring your hands up facing towards the ceiling, bring your palms together, and come right up. And then from this point, we're going to drop our hands out to the side, right? So if you're on the floor, your hands will be right onto the floor. We're on the table here, so his hands are just sticking out to the sides a little bit. But we're gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna push arms into the floor, squeezing your shoulder blades together, creating a little bit of that arch in the back, lifting the chest high, and trying to pinch and squeeze those shoulder blades together as best as you can. Again, holding for about a 10-second count. And then bring your hands back up to the middle. Perfect. Now this time we're going to go into a bit of a Y shape. So our hands are coming slightly up over top of our head. Same scenario now, pushing down into the floor. This is going to be a bit of a weaker position. If you find you can't get the shoulder or your arm all the way down to the floor, you're going to put a block, whether it's a yoga block or a pillow or some books, something underneath your wrist. That way you can still have something to press into. The key with this one as well, because your arms are going up on a bit of a diagonal, with your shoulder blades, you want to pull your right shoulder blade down towards your left hip, and then pull your left shoulder blade down towards your right hip. So we're doing a bit of a crisscross through this, and just anchoring those shoulder blades down and together. And then coming back up again. And then our last position for this sequence, arms are going to be coming over top of your head. And again, they're going to push down towards the floor. One more time, if you can't quite get there, just put a block, yoga block, pillow, something underneath those wrists. That way you've got something to press into. And then in this situation, your shoulders are going to get pulled straight down. So the right shoulder is going to be pulling more towards the right hip. Left shoulder is pulling more towards the left hip. And come back down, arms down by your side. Perfect. So that's sequence number one. Our second sequence, you're going to bring your arm up towards the ceiling. You're going to rotate your arm inwards, and then we're going to bring the arm right across your chest, and you're going to try to press your arm further in that direction. So it's going to provide a bit of a stretch in through the back of the shoulder, but you're trying to squeeze in your chest as you go through this. And then come back up. Now in the same arm position, you're going to just come down on a slight diagonal. Same thing, it's going to provide a bit of that stretch through the back of the shoulder. We're still trying to squeeze in the chest as he's pressing in that direction. And then come back up. And then one more from this point, we're going to come up on just a slight diagonal. So you're not coming up too far, just slightly. And again, trying to push across the body, feeling a bit of a stretch coming through the back of the shoulder, still trying to engage in the chest as you're coming through. Back up. Now the last one here, we're actually just going to rotate the palm upwards and then just come straight across the chest again. Again, a little bit more of that stretch through the back of the shoulder, still squeezing in the chest as you're pushing across. And coming back down. We'll end up going through that same sequence for the opposite arm just to keep things equal and balanced. But we'll go through our third sequence now. So this is going to focus more on an internal and external rotation within the shoulder. So we're going to start off. Arms just going to come right down by your side, bending the elbow to 90 degrees. We're going to rotate that arm outwards. And again, our goal is to reach that wrist towards the floor as best as possible. If you can't get there, one more time, use that block, pillow, books, whatever you need to, just to have something to press into. You're going to press that wrist towards the floor. You should be able to feel it kind of in the back of the shoulder up top here. Again, 10-second holds. We're going to bring the elbow out to the side, just about midway. We're going to rotate out again, and same thing, pressing down towards the floor, still trying to feel the back of that shoulder, holding that for another 10 seconds. We're going to come up to 90 degrees, rotating backwards, pressing into the floor from this point, holding for another 10 seconds. Make sure you're feeling in the back of the shoulder as best as you can. And then our last position on this one is going to come just above 90 degrees. And then again, rotating back, pressing down into the floor, trying to focus on that external rotation in that position. Now in that same spot, keeping the elbow just slightly above 90, we're going to rotate inwards as best as you can. Now this is important just to be cautious with your positioning here, because I can have Griffin rotate his shoulder a lot further, but his whole shoulder had to lift off the table and rotate inwards. And I don't want that. We want to just focus on the rotation within that joint itself, not the rest of his shoulder girdle. So just rotating inwards until you start to feel like that shoulder wants to lift, and that's going to be your end point. And he's just going to create a little bit of inward pressure at that point going internally. Good. And then we're going to work our way down just below 90 degrees, rotating in again, for making sure that that shoulder stays down. As the elbow comes closer towards the body, you should be able to get more rotation without that shoulder wanting to lift. And then our last one's going to be just off the side of your body here, and when you rotate in, you should have your hand landing on about your hip, so just at the edge of the pelvis. And again, pushing internally with that, making sure that that shoulder stays down, engaging in through that internal rotation motion, and relax. So those are our 3 sequences for our shoulder stability. Hold each position for 10 seconds. You can repeat through those positions 2-3 times, and then just making sure that you're keeping things equal going through right and left sides as you go through it. Any questions, just let me know.